What is a druid? Maybe you've heard me use the term druidry and wondered, what is she talking about? Today in the Soul Garden, I'm going to share my thoughts on modern druidry and why it's relevant today. Welcome back to Friday Fun in the Soul Garden. Yes, we are back outside. It's humid, so you may see my hair frizz as we're talking. And it's hot. Anyway, and yes, I did miss a week. So if you wondered what happened to the last episode, you didn't miss it. It was me. I had some dental surgery, and the puffy face look was not my favorite for videos. So here we are. So today I want to talk about modern druidry. And this comes out of some questions that came up. People heard me use the term druidry and wondered what I was talking about. So I thought, yeah, there's probably some misconceptions. So I wanted to share my thoughts on modern druidry and really why it's relevant. You know, why should we care right now? So again, this is a high-level view. These are my thoughts, my perspective, and the intention is that it just gives a bit of an introduction, a bit of an overview, and perhaps can serve as a jumping off point if it's something that you're interested and would like to explore a little bit more. So to me, in a nutshell, druidry is an awareness of the mysteries that are held in the natural world. It's a nature-based spiritual path. And to me, druidry really is a way of life, it's a way of living, and it's a way of seeing the world. The foundation of druidry is peace. It is peace and love of all living things, the interconnectedness of all of life. So when you think about that, given the state of the world right now and everything that's going on around us, how wonderful and reassuring to know that there's a group of people who are devoted to peace and who are devoted to the love of life. I think that's pretty cool. Another thing that came to me when I was thinking about, why is druidry relevant now, is the inclusivity that I see among the members of the order that I belong to. Anytime we gather in the Order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids, which is the group that I work with and study with, anytime we come together, there's this beautiful meeting of like-minded souls, and there seems to be a real attraction to druidry by people from a vast range of religious backgrounds, which I find absolutely fascinating. So at a time right now when there's so much to divide us as humans, what a beautiful thing to have something that really brings us together and connects us. And of course, when you think about it as a nature-based spiritual practice, the commonality is we all live on the earth. So a nature-based spiritual practice, of course, it connects us. So it really is a coming together, which I think we need more of that right now. We need things that unite us rather than divide us. The obvious thing for me when I was thinking about this is the care of the planet and preserving ecology and the climate change crisis. The idea behind nature-based spiritual practices is when we connect to nature, we are actually connecting more deeply to levels within ourselves. And the idea is that, what's reflected, it's based on that Hermetic principle, as above, so below, as within, so without. That's what we see around us in the natural world is a reflection of our inner world and vice versa. So by connecting more deeply to nature, not only are we learning more about ourselves, we're learning more about nature. So we develop a greater level of care. We care when we see trees that are in distress. We care when we see soil depleted. We care when we see the oceans depleted and polluted. So this benefits all of humanity, right? Because we're all living here together on this planet. So that was one of the things that I thought, yeah, and there's this real draw right now to a more simple life, this slow living phenomena that we're surrounded with right now. coming back to basics. I think so many of us started growing food maybe for the first time through the pandemic. And this is a real, we're seeing a real connection to nature. So that's another reason why for me Druidry is highly relevant right now. So all of these things might come as a bit of a surprise, given that history has some pretty dark depictions of Druids. And when I was reflecting on this, I thought, well, yeah, of course, because the history was written by the Roman conquerors, whose goal was to annihilate the Druids and, you know, conquer Britain. So it doesn't surprise me that we have such a dark depiction. And of course, some of their practices may not have been considered appropriate now, but I think we would find that with spiritual practices everywhere. You know, as humanity's evolved, so was our idea of what's acceptable in our spiritual practices. So I wanted to just give this, again, my perspective, very high level view on why Druidry is relevant and why I feel it's important right now, and also just a little bit about what it is. There is a lot of information available on the internet if you're interested in pursuing this further. I will put a link to the Order of Bards, Ovates, and Druid website. They are druidry.org. They have a lot of information. If you're curious about my path, you can find that on my About page on my website, www.naturesheart.ca. And yeah, thanks again for joining me in the Soul Garden, and I look forward to seeing you next time.